Hello there, good afternoon. It's Dave from Manor Park Classics. Apologies, you've only got to put up with me this week because John's upstairs busy doing paperwork, because as you will see, we've had a mental busy week this week and we've got loads to show you. So we'll start off here. We've got a nice little 1975 Honda CB500T. Obviously a little two-cylinder, four-stroke, complete bike. This has come from a large collection. We've got a huge amount of bikes coming off this gentleman. They all seem to be very, very complete, but they will all need some kind of recommissioning. Haven't been run for a while. They've been in large dry storage area. So the bikes are all there, but they will need obviously stripping down, carbs doing, all this, that and the other. But a very complete bike. Next to that, we've got a beautiful 1973 Triumph Trident. I love these Tridents. I think they're a really good looking bike and they sound great when they're running. Obviously quite rare bike nowadays. A triple at the time was very unusual. Most of the bikes in the day were twins. And this was before the Japanese came onto the market and brought all the four cylinders out. Next to that, we have a 1958 Triumph 23TA with bodywork on it that some people would know as a bathtub. We did have the Norton version of it in last week on the video, if you have a look around, the deluxe version of that. Very similar looking bikes. Again, a nice, lovely, complete bike, that one. That's coming off a different vendor. Very complete, well restored, complete running bike, and a credit to its previous owner. Next to that, another Triumph, a Triumph Daytona. That one again is a complete running bike in very good order. Something that's going to command a good figure, I would say. It's been a busy week this week, as you can see. We've got a Suzuki SP400 next to that. That's a 1981. Lovely little enduro bike. We've done very, very well with the off-road scene over the last couple of sales, and these little sort of smallish engine enduro bikes do seem to be hitting a bit of a sweet spot at the moment. That one again is a complete bike, but would need some recommissioning work just to get the engine running. Probably needs a battery, some fresh oil, fresh fuel, and that'll be away. And then a little Lambretta next to that. That is a 1963 Lambretta Li125. That one's been fully recommissioned and is ready to go in good working order. And again, is a very fine example when the camera goes around that. It's a pretty little bike, that. And again, these Lambrettas do seem to have a very, very good market at the moment. It's a very busy market. We do get a lot of inquiries when we get these on. Next to that, an exciting little Honda CBR125. Anybody who's got a teenager in the house who'd be wanting to learn to ride a bike, these are great. One of the early models, so it's probably one of the faster ones that you could probably buy of the time. This one is a 2008 and is in very good working order. Super little bike, really. They don't make them that go quite as well as that anymore. They're all very speed restricted these days. But yeah, nice little bike, that. Something that at 17, somebody would be very pleased to get throw their leg over. A Suzuki GSX-R 600. This model is the SRAD, one of the first of the GSX-R 600 models with the conventional forks, the SRAD model with the air scoops on the front. This one's a 1998 bike. Again, looks to be a very, very complete bike. It's got a blue flame exhaust on it, a couple of little marks on the bodywork, as you would expect from a bike of this age. But realistically, a complete bike. Somebody's added a steering damper to it, which it wouldn't have had in the day. It's got a rear hugger, a few bits and pieces on it, but a nice, straight little bike, really. Next to that, we've got a 1979 Yamaha XT500. Again, another good medium-sized enduro bike. These XTs always sell well. There's always a good market for them. It's not concours. You know, the mirrors have got a few marks on them, but a complete bike. And from what I can see, a very standard bike. Hasn't been messed about with. It's got the standard exhaust on it, bash plate underneath. Seems to be all there. So that'll get a load of interest, that will. Next to that, we've got an auto cycle. That's called a VeloSolex 800, apparently. I wouldn't claim to know a huge amount about it, but little engine running off the front wheel there, and then pedals for when you get to running out of fuel or anything like that. So yeah, a little bit of fun for somebody to have and play about with. This next TLR has come off the gentleman with the large collection of bikes. This is a 1980 TLR200. It's not road registered. We do have the Nova documents to register is on the road, or it's something you could just play about with in a field, but would need some work, fresh fuel, fresh plug, fresh oil, that sort of thing to get it going, but is a very complete and original bike again, I would say. Won't be a fortune, so a little bit of fun for you to play with at the weekends. Next to that, we got I would class a very cool bike, a Z900. This one's a running order bike. It was ridden into us. It's a 1975. It's got a Z1A frame and a Z1B engine. So for anybody looking around, it's not a completely original bike, but it is complete. It doesn't have the standard exhaust on it, unfortunately, which is one thing I know that people who are collecting them particularly like to see. But if you wanted to buy a nice, usable classic, something to run round to the bike shows at the weekend or the cafes and what have you, it's a real head turner. The price reflects the fact that it's not a completely concours bike with matching numbers and all that sort of thing, but it's a great looking bike and something that, as I say, will turn heads if you go to a bike meeting. Next to that, we've got a DR800. We've not long sold one of these. That one was completely concours. This one, again, it's on a Nova document, so would need road registry into the UK. To my eye, looks a very standard bike. It has got some crash bars on it, but it's got standard exhausts on it. It's got some hand guards. It's a complete bike, but that would need fully recommissioning, fresh oil, plugs, again, all the bits and pieces. It's been in this large collection, has been off the road for some time, but is all there and would make a very cost-effective way of having a large adventure sports, traily, whatever you want to call them in the day. Wouldn't, you know, it's got loads of life left in it. Those DR800, the engines are noted for being virtually bomb-proof. So for not a lot of money, you could have a good adventure bike there. Next to that, we have a 1982 Honda CB250RS. These are little parallel twin 250cc. They missed the market a little bit, really, because when they brought these out, the 125 laws had changed, so 250s weren't really a huge seller at the time. They were obviously up against things like the RD250, so they were never a massive seller, but a great little bike for people to commute on, dispatch riding, that sort of thing. Nice and light, easy, manoeuvrable bike, and ultra reliable because they're a four-stroke. Never seemed to go wrong. They were something that would just run and run and run. Very reliable, very economical, good little bike, really, but always a little bit overlooked in the market at the time. Next to that, we've got a great bike, a little Yamaha R6. This is a 2000 model. Again, when these first came out, they gave the Honda CBR600 a right run for the money. They were known to be the lunatic one, really, a real screamer of a bike. Has had a few modifications over the years, little indicators, tinted screen, a few bits and pieces, but this one has been off the road for a while. It does run. It runs and starts right well. It sounds, you know, it starts off the button. Does need a little bit of work here and there, but what a cracking little bike, really. Just needs a little bit of fettling up on the fastenings and cleaning up. The forks are got a little bit chippy on them there, but it's the age of the bike. It's 25 years old, isn't it? So, but they're a great bike, and again, renowned for being reasonably indestructible unless you throw them down the track. Next to that, we've got a 1997 Ducati 996 SPS. This has had a lot of money thrown at it over the years. There is a box next to it it's got a carbon fibre tank on it. There is the standard tank in there. The other mirror is there. It's only been taken off for transportation purposes. So there's a few bits and pieces. I've spoken to a couple of people who know about the Ducatis at the time. This wouldn't have had Öhlins forks on it. It would have had different forks on it. This has had upgraded forks. Obviously, it's got the upgraded tank, carbon fibre bits and pieces. It's had quite a lot of money thrown at it over the years. 5-spoke Marchesini wheels. It's a fair machine. That would be a great in a collection or just a load of fun on the road. Those are beautiful looking bike, and obviously brought to fame the 916, 996 era of bike, brought to fame by Mr. Fogarty, winning many world championships on them, and still renowned as one of the best looking bikes ever to be built, really. in many people's opinions. I'm sure there'll be some people will differ on that one. Next to that is a lovely bike. I've always liked these. 1974 Suzuki GT750. 750 water-cooled triple. These were the first water-cooled bikes to come out of Japan. They really changed the world. Everything was air-cooled twins at the time. And then Suzuki brought this on and the world went crazy from there onwards with water cooling. They sound amazing when they're running these. This one is a runner. It would just need the battery charging, really. The guy started it up for us when it came in here. And yeah, what a great machine. In very, very good condition. Looks very, very pretty much standard to me. Again, somebody will probably say, oh, it might have the wrong grab rail on the back or something like that. But in my eyes, a very original, very standard, lovely looking bike. And one that's sure to create loads and loads of interest. These next two bikes, I've always had a soft spot for Fireblades. I was a Fireblade rider for many years. This one's 1998. I think, if I'm correct, this is the 918 engine in this, and the one next to it. They went slightly bigger engine. They went a bit bigger at the time. These next couple of bikes have come out of this large collection, so they have been stored, dry stored, so they're very... There's no corrosion on them as such, but they would need fully recommissioning and a little bit of time spent on fresh fluids, fresh batteries, maybe stripping the carbs. But looks to be a complete bike. There's the odd mark on it here and there, as you would see from the pictures when they go on the website. It's got aftermarket indicators, aftermarket quill exhaust, a few bits and pieces, but again, looks to be all there. There's nothing missing. The one next to it obviously has had a paint scheme done to it. I think this one's a 99, that one's a 98. But again, a very complete bike, not in the original factory colours. Again, got an aftermarket exhaust, little indicators. This one's possibly a little bit scruffier than that one on the swing arm and around a few areas, but is a complete bike. Obviously, they're going to be sort of semi-project bikes. So they give you a blank canvas. They could be turned into track bikes. You could spend a fortune painting them into whatever colour you wanted. There's many options you can do on bikes like these. Little CBR400 next to that, the Baby Blade as they were known at the time, 1998. This one is a complete, but it has got problems with a bit of the fairing, needs putting back together in places, so there are a couple of little issues with it. All seems to be there. Again, would need the recommissioning work. It's got an ART exhaust on it, but apart from that, the screen, it looks to be reasonably standard. Obviously, these were never a full UK bike at the time, so that is an import. So it's got a kilometres clock in it. It's showing 34,000 kilometres, so whatever that works out back to in miles. But it's all there, and with just a little bit of work, somebody who likes to do some tinkering, that wouldn't take a lot of putting back together. One of my all-time favourite bikes next to that, some people, these are a bit of a Marmite bike, 2010 KTM RC8, 1190cc V-twin. Wow, what a machine. These are sensational. They sound fantastic. They go like crazy. They're a little bit tall. If you're a little bit short in the leg, they might be a bit of a challenge to ride, but what a bike. And again, they're just, if you go to a bike meeting, you don't generally rock up next to another one of these. They're pretty rare on the superbike scene. If you rock up on a Gixxer or a Blade or something, you'd be parked next to 5, 10 others. RC8s are a bit special, and in the market now, they are getting more scarce as they've been tracked and raced and all manner of things that happen to them. So that one is a particularly clean bike. It's coming off a guy that we know all his bikes are absolutely spot on. And that one obviously is no different. All of his bikes are perfect. But I particularly like those. I like the shape of them. I like the sound of them. I like the way they ride, but that's only my opinion. So other opinions are available. Coming up to the last now, we've got a Honda 500-4, 1972. This one's had some work on it to turn it into a cafe racer style. with aftermarket exhaust, cut down seats, changed rear end. Again, it's come from the gentleman with the collection, so it hasn't been ridden for quite some time. But to my mind, it doesn't need a huge amount of doing to it. Probably fuel, electric, battery, and it would be away. It looks a little bit different from how they would have looked new, but nice to see something a bit different, really. And that cafe racer style is very sort of on vogue at the moment. TZ250, 1982, complete track bike. This bike has competed and done very well. There is a large description about this bike on the website. The gentleman gave us a very good description of what this bike has done, what it had done to it, where it's been and what have you. We know the gentleman in question. He's bought bikes from us, he's sold bikes through us. Lovely, lovely little bike. It has had the fluids drained out of it, so it currently wouldn't run if we wanted it to, but it wouldn't be a big job to get it going. And like I say, look on the website to get the details of all the work that's done on that. But if you know anything about race bikes and you wanted to race a classic bike, that is a particularly good one and is in complete order, isn't knocked about, is a tidy little bike, that. Quite an exciting little bike. Another sort of semi-track bike next to that, that's another CBR400, but it has been made semi-trackable. The indicators have been changed, the front headlight's been changed, single seat unit, race exhaust. Again, a complete bike, but been off the road for a little while. But that would easily be turned into either a track day bike or it is road registered, so it is something that could be used on the road. It has been track dayed at Cadwell Park and a couple of places there, so it's a bike that has been, there's no getting away from the fact it has been used on a track. And those little CBR400s, they go like crazy for the size and weight of them. They're great fun to ride. And last but by no means least, a Kawasaki ZX6R. This is the 636 engine one, which is the faster one of the models that they made. These are a great bike again. This one's a 2002. Another one out of the gentleman's collection. A very complete bike. It's got an aftermarket exhaust on it, carbon fibre rear hugger, seat cowl, a couple of bits and pieces on it, but apart from that, looks to be a very, very standard, very genuine bike. It doesn't, there's no damage on it. It's just been in his long-term storage. He's got more to come from us. If you consider the bikes we've already been round, a lot of them are his, and there's still more to come. So he's a serial collector of bikes over the years. It's been time to move them on, and we're lucky enough to be able to do something with the collection. Everything's going online now. I say John's upstairs busy doing the paperwork. Check them all out, www.manorparkclassics.com. Go onto our YouTube channel and like and share our page. All the bikes are going through our next sale, which is on the 4th of April, so time's approaching rapidly. We'll have our viewing days on the 3 days before. If you need to know anything, pick up the phone, give us a call, or go onto the inquiries on the website, and we'll look forward to hearing from you. Thank you.